Okay, Sandra, let's get started.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you about my department, Office of Career Services. Many of you know me already, but for those of you who don't, I'm Sandra Williams Strauss. So we're a very small office, a staff of two full-time career advisors, Ms. Denise Olson, who's our resident internship expert and experiential learning specialist, such a mouthful, and myself. I primarily work with students with career advisement, those students who are trying to figure out who they are, what they want to do, select a QCC program of study and a future career, and I also do a great deal of work with the career competencies. We have our director, Mrs. Constance Peluso, our secretary, and really our resident tech expert, Ms. Judith Fark Mustafa, who sits at the front desk. We also have someone, Mr. David Manis, who is a CTE, career specialist or a career and technical specialist, and he works with us about a quarter of the time. He's under a Perkins grant, and he helps us with resume preparation, helps all the students with that. His primary responsibility is to help prepare the students for the Internet and Information Technology Apprenticeship Program, which is a very special program under the New York City CEO Jobs Council. And for those of you who don't know about that program, the New York CEO Jobs Council was formed several years ago, and their primary mission is to employ 100,000 New York City college graduates in the big companies by 2030. And 25% of that is supposed to go towards CUNY students. So he works with that program. And we also have a college work study, Miss Malika Kumar. So we are very small, and we service most of the students in the college. So just to give you a quick overview, which most of you know, what we do, our mission is to assist students in their career growth and their development. And really what that means is we provide them with career advisement. Like I said, I'm the primary person, as you guys know, who helps students select their majors when they're really confused. All those liberal arts students or the students who thought they were going into nursing and then realized that's not for them, they seek me out. We inform students of worthwhile internships. Ms. Olson does a great deal of work with employers and students, connecting them and guiding them through that process. We teach students how to write the documents they're going to need in their job search, having a decent cover letter, resume, and we help them with their interview prep. We also work very, very closely with faculty to provide and help students in career development, which they're trying to integrate into their curriculum. We teach students about the skills employers are seeking, what we call the QCC super skills. We have on our website a flip book, which is pretty cool. If I click into this, you'll see it. Here it is, and students can click in this, and it actually will flip open, makes all the little cool sounds, and students can learn, oh, these are the skills that employers are looking for, and what do I need to do to gain these skills? We host a variety of employer information sessions throughout the year virtually. Employers seem to really like that better than coming in person. And those are held all year, and students have a direct connection to employers that way. And of course, we have our website, which has a multitude of free tech tools that students can use. So that's a general overview. Last year, I had focused a lot on career exploration and what we do with that and the tools that students can use. But I'm going to focus primarily today on Handshake. You guys are probably sick of hearing about Handshake. You see the big, we have a big sign outside our door, this huge Handshake sign. And really, we're trying to get students to create their accounts as soon as they get here so that they can take advantage of this tool. So Handshake is really quite a wonderful tool for us. It allows students to search for jobs, internships, volunteer positions, to reach out to employers. It allows employers to reach out to students. Um, and it also allows students to connect to us. It's the way that students can request appointments. They can look at our calendars. We each have our own handshake calendar, and they can request an appointment. And they can filter the appointments by what their interest is. Are they looking to do a resume? Do they want to have a career advisement appointment? Do they need help with an internship? So we love it because it just has made our life a lot easier. And this is the way that we connect to employers as well. So the nice thing is we're one of the few CUNY schools at this point that has it. Dean Pullen was able to purchase it for us a few years ago, and it's really just changed the way that we work, and it's become integral. So one of the things we're hoping is that you will encourage students and just say to them, do you have a handshake account? And if they don't know what you're talking about, say, go see Career Services around the corner in room 429, and we'll help them with that. We have all sorts of directions, digital. We can even send that to you if you guys want that. That walks them through the process of creating their account. It's not necessarily always easy, but if they have a problem, Judith Burke Mustafa, our secretary, she will sit with them, help them figure out what's going on. She'll troubleshoot the issue. And if she can't resolve it, she'll work with Handshake to figure out what's going on. I like to call Handshake Baby LinkedIn because it's a way for a student to get familiar with communicating in a career networking platform similar to LinkedIn. And they can dip their toe in because this is just for college students. And I think it's a way for them to familiarize themselves with that type of a platform. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about how it works. So I'm in the student-facing site, the landing page. We have our own back-end site where we do things, and there's an employer site. But this is what students see. And I should also mention, most of them are on their cell phones. So they can download the app onto the phone, and it's going to look a little bit different. This menu that you see in the upper left-hand corner on the phone, it's on the bottom of the page. So it's going to look a little bit different, but it works basically in the same way. So in the upper right-hand corner, let me just pull this down, you see my initials, SW. If I click into this, and this is really the most important thing, I click into my profile, and I have to admit I have not completed my profile. I need to do that because that is really what we want students to do once they have their account, complete the profile. Similar to a LinkedIn profile, it's basically like a digital resume. And they can also, once their resume is in tip-top shape, they can upload that resume into Handshake and they can allow employers to view it. So it has their information. Some students will put a photo there. I'm only 35% complete, not good, I admit. And I'm actually basing my information. I'm pretending that I'm taking information from my son, actually. I'm pretending that I'm my son just to see what kind of jobs get pushed towards me. Because everything that comes from your profile, based on that info that the student puts in, all that data, the information about jobs and internships and volunteer information is going to be pushed based on what you put into your profile. So it's unique to each person. So no two people are going to get the same experiences pushed towards them. What I have in my profile is unique to me. If you had a profile, it would be unique to you, and we're going to get different jobs and internships based on that. And that's what's really cool about the whole platform. So they put in their education, they put in their work and volunteer experience, any organization or extracurriculars, just like you would do on a resume. And then they can always edit things. On the left side, they can put in their interests. What are you looking for? They may put in an internship. They may put in a job. They can say full-time or part-time. And then cities that they want to be in. So for our students, it would be, Queens and New York City, and what type of roles. And also they can put their skills. They can say, I have all these different skills. And then they're going to have now a connection to employers, and they're going to start seeing jobs that are going to be coming to them. Now I'm going to go back to the landing page and just give you a little tour. So here you're going to see, you'll see CUNY Queensborough Community College, and this is us. We have our own college career center. Every college and university that uses Handshake has their own career center within Handshake. So if I click into this, here we are in our page, and students can make appointments here. So if I say I want to make an appointment with Ms. Olson, I want to learn about internships, I click in to schedule a new appointment. You go through all students. Now you see this little menu that comes up and they would click into internships. If they want to see me, they can do career advisement. If they need help with a resume, all of us pop up, they can click in here. So that's really helpful, very simple for them. If I scroll down a little bit, you see there's events. There's all these different events that companies have. Our students are welcome to join them, even though they may be a national company. And I should mention most Fortune 500 companies are on Handshake, but they can also see our own events. So that's really helpful too. And we do have, let me just show you. Every week, we have 2 resume hours that Mr. Manis will host. So students can register for those, and they're open hours. He'll spend time with each of them reviewing their resume. So they're on Mondays at 11 and Thursdays at 3, but those are there and they can do that as well. Let me just see if I missed anything that I wanted to tell you. I should also mention students get confused when they are creating their account. They need to use their Tiger ID to create the account, but then once they're on, they're going to log in with their QCC email. So it's a little confusing, I know, but they adjust, they get used to it. I know they have a lot of technology they're using, but they have to do it, right? We all have to get used to that, and we're here to help them with that. On the back end, when we get a notification that a student has requested an appointment, we will respond to them and say yes or no. And then there are email notices that get sent to both us and the student reminding us you have an appointment on this day, on this time. And it could be a virtual appointment, it might be an in-person appointment, it could be a telephone appointment. I should mention that. But most of them are remote. Most of the students seem to prefer that. If they really want an in-person appointment, they'll just write to us, I want to see you in person, and that's not a problem. Let me just see if there's anything else I want to tell you about Handshake. Those are the biggest things. I can just show you one other thing, employers, and Scott will appreciate this. We have our own page in Handshake right here, QCC on campus. That's what we call it, QCC on campus. I'm going to click into it. And what's nice is when there are jobs that are here on campus, they get posted here. So right now, we don't really have anything. We had several jobs for a while. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. We have a lifeguard position. Let me just say something. Here we go. If you know any students who want to be a lifeguard, this position is open because they can't find enough people who lifeguard, unfortunately. But usually in the beginning of each semester, we'll have many jobs from different people on campus who are looking, like maybe tech V positions, or I know Scott will advertise with us for the Tiger Advisor, or Belladine and Karen will advertise for their ambassador positions. So if anyone does have a position, or if you hear about something, tell them you can advertise through Handshake with Career Services. And it's a great way to reach a lot of students very quickly. I know that Scott found somebody recently that worked out well for him. So now I want to go out of Handshake and I want to show you, unfortunately, something else that's happening very quickly. Okay, so you probably are aware, of course, of many different employment scams. You've probably seen these come to you. Maybe you're getting text about things, or unfortunately, maybe to your personal email. We have had the unfortunate circumstance in CUNY of many students being, I don't want to, well, approached by people posing as employers. They are scammers, and it's happening more and more. It's very common. It happened at Baruch, it happened at Hunter. Unfortunately, it happened to us. And we work very closely with Quinson and IT to help the students. None of it's happened through Handshake, but unfortunately, it got to their actual QCC emails. So they'll get these emails that they think are valid employers, legitimate employers, and some students will fall for these things. We try to tell them if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true, because most of these things will say something like, you're going to make this tremendous amount of money every week, and it's remote, and it's, basically no experience. And then the student will be asked to fill out something, and there's giving now personal information. Sometimes they'll have an interview, which I find hard to believe. They're interviewed maybe that day or the next day, and they get the job. And then they are asked to provide funds for training materials. This has become very common, and the student will Venmo or send a check or something. And once they do that, that's the end, because the employer is able to get into their account and clear them out. So we really are trying to get students to pay attention to these scams and understand how they happen and what these fake people are doing. And CUNY has a CUNY cybersecurity awareness training, and it's right here on our website. And Quinton really wants our students to take it. So if you hear of students who, that unfortunately something's happened to them, let us know. They can come see us. They need to tell the IT help desk immediately, but they really should be taking this CUNY cybersecurity awareness training, or just let all your students know. You should be aware there's these scams. Try to take this training, and they should be reading these articles that will alert them to the different types of things they should be aware of and the different types of scams. And it's good for all of us, because I'm sure you guys get things sent to you all the time. It happens so often. We're all just so tired of it. These scammers are very sophisticated, and unfortunately, most of our students fall prey to these things because, they're like, wow, I can make all this money, and they don't realize what's really happening. So I just wanted to bring you up to date about that. And that's it. I hope that was helpful, just to give you a quick idea about Handshake and encouraging students to create an account and letting them know about these scams and guarding against them and educating themselves. Let me stop sharing.
That's good to know, because a lot of times students will ask us, how do I find a job? They always ask us those basic questions before we refer them to you. And to know that you have all of those initiatives to help them is amazing. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Any questions? Okay,
I see Francesca.
go ahead, Francesca.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My question for you, Sandra. First, I want to say thank you for this amazing presentation. I got a nice memory refresher. My question to you is, how long can a student hold on to their Handshake account? Because I know sometimes they will do it the second semester or the third semester, and then when they graduate, what happens to this account?
They can be on as alums, but if they go to a four-year school and the four-year school, like Baruch, has Handshake. Not everyone has Handshake yet, but I think this year many more of the CUNY schools will have it. They have to set up their own Handshake within that college. It's different at each school. That's the thing that's a little bit annoying about it. So they'd still keep their Handshake with us if they're an alum. And if they have a problem, they can just reach us. They can just contact us and we'll work with them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I think we're good. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thanks, you guys.
No problem. We're gonna.
Will, I just want to ask this one last question. Can you give the name of the person for the work study again?
Oh, Karen O'Sullivan. She's in financial aid or financial services. She's the work study person. So we actually have, I should mention this as well, just for students to know about employment opportunities on campus. Every year we update this really nice pamphlet that we have. It's a paper pamphlet that lists opportunities. So we have to survey all the places on campus that offer employment, student employment. So we'll survey the departments and we'll survey the different departments and say to them, do you have any openings this semester? And then when we know they do, we'll advertise them. And we try to keep it up to date. And we have a little blurb in there about work study. So students can be directed to work study. But if they don't fill that out with their FAFSA, then they're not going to be able to take advantage of it, because it's through FAFSA. They check off a box. Yes, I'm interested in being, considered for college work study. And then whatever the formula is, well, they alert that to Karen and, financial aid, and then she'll get the list. I guess she'll get the list the semester before, and then they will notify students that they're eligible for work study. That doesn't mean that they're going to get a position, because there's only so many positions on campus. But that's Karen O'Sullivan. If you ever have a question, just reach out to her.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're
All right.
welcome. Bye.
Bye. Moving on to Jennifer Klein. Hey, Jen, are you there? You got your mic on.
I'm sorry. Good morning. Yes,
Good
I'm a
morning,
little.
Jen. It's okay. It's
How
all
are
right. It's Monday, where
Yes.
everyone's
it
got to
is.
pass.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you for
Welcome.
having me. Thank you. All right. So I think I'm here to talk about Spark, and then I think I'm going to move into conduct. So I think I'm here really to answer questions, right? So for Spark, not actually, it is unfortunate because this is a little late, because Spark, all students need to complete it, but we're moving to Brightspace. So I don't know if you want me to show you a little bit about Spark, but I'm on the old system. So we're going to be moving to Brightspace in the summer, and we haven't learned, or they haven't really moved Spark to Brightspace yet. So I can't really show you what it looks like, because I don't know what it's going to look like. So Will, you tell me, you want me to show, or you guys want me to show you what Spark looks like right now, what students are seeing? Okay.
Right now would be good, because at least it gives
Okay.
them a frame of reference for when we switch over.
Gotcha.
Because the whole Brightspace switch
Not a
over is affecting everybody, so we're all just kind of waiting and seeing. So it's fine.
You got it. So am I allowed to share? Am I good?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So give me 1 second. All right. So all students, just like all faculty and staff, we need to do eSpark. All students need to complete Spark. We are encouraging them that as soon as they get admitted, that I think it's 48 hours, or as soon as they register for classes, I think it's 48 hours after the fact, that they will be enrolled into that semester Spark. So if you see here under my organizations on your Blackboard course, it's exactly where eSpark would be for us. It is Spark for them. You'll see I'll have a couple classes here because I'm a leader in it. The students will be in the course that coincides with the semester that they were admitted. So you may get some students who are admitted in fall 2020 that you're advising, and they still need to do Spark. So sometimes if they're having an issue, I need to go back to fall 2020 to see where they are and where they're registered. But right now we're working with students who are in Spark 2024, spring 2024. So when students click into this is what they're gonna see. Sorry, I have to keep moving myself. On this left-hand side, don't worry about the bottom, they're not going to see this. You know what, let me go into student view. Actually, maybe they will see it. They will see announcements. They will see Spark training. They'll have to click on that. So the new thing that has started this year was that there's the actual training, and then there's a test. So this is probably new. This is probably something that you guys didn't know about. Something I didn't know about until I went in and took the Spark training myself, where they actually go through Spark training. It's a 45-minute video. There's some questions in there that they have to answer after every module. I believe there's about 5 modules that they have to complete. There's some questions, but then all students need to take the Spark test. Okay. The important thing here for the Spark test, and again, something that CUNY needs to work on. This is something we've already brought to CUNY's attention. Brian Mitra knows about this. It states that all students need to pass the test with an 80 in order to complete. For some reason, you get 3 questions wrong, you get a 79. So that doesn't make sense, because if you get 2 questions wrong, you get an 86. If somebody's a mathematician in here, please help me understand that. I'm trying to figure it out with CUNY. So if you get that 79, it's telling me students are not completed with Spark. I've had students take it 10 times, still get that 79 on this test. If you come across, so this is where you guys come in, if you come across a student who says that they took this test multiple times and continue to get a 79 on it, please have them email me. I will override it to an 80 because I just think that's ridiculous. Sometimes CUNY can make things a little bit more difficult for our students, and this is not one thing I want them to make it more difficult for them. Especially if I can see how many times a student has taken a test. So I'll just go into this and show you. Sorry, I have to keep moving myself. We could probably go in here and do this, and you'll probably see each one is 7 points. Makes no sense. It's the same test every single time the student takes it. Unfortunately, not like, most of their classes, it will not tell them what the correct answer is if they get it wrong. So they continue to take it over and over again and still continue to get the same one wrong. The questions are not difficult, but if they don't pay attention to that 45-minute video or 45-minute module training, they're not going to be able to answer these questions. So that is the test. Students may say they go in and they take the training, but if they don't take the test, I can't see that they completed it. So just to give you an idea of what it looks like for me. Sorry. So when you send me a student, or a student calls me and says that they completed it, or emails me, if you've been in Blackboard, if you've ever been in a grade center, this is what it looks like. So I have all students who are in spring 2024 in the full grade center. So I can see if they ever accessed it. If they accessed it, they definitely did not take the test. They looked at it, but they did not take the test. Here, I can tell that they took the test and they passed it, right? Look at all these students who have not completed Spark. Okay, this little blue thing here means that I overrode that. Actually, I'm lying. I didn't override that. That means they took it more than once. My apologies. See, the student took it 65, took it again, got an 86. And then I think they're taking it again to possibly get a higher grade. They don't need to, though. And let's see, let me see if I can find a different page that has a 79 on it. Hold on. You can see here that a lot of our students, let me go back to that one. This student here, this student accessed it on March 5th, is in the process of taking the exam, has not completed it. If I click on this, now if we have any people in here who have actually taught a class, you can see the attempt, the test information, and it looks like the student took did all the questions. I don't know why it's not submitted. So it's interesting. I'm sorry if I'm scrolling too fast. I'm actually going to submit this for the student because that's a little weird. So sometimes it's just an easy fix like that, where I go into the grade center and it's an easy fix. Sometimes it's not an easy fix. Anytime there's an issue with a transfer student or a freshman with Spark, it comes to me. If it's a continuing student or an athlete, it usually goes to Title IX. Lourdes December handles those students because sometimes we need to re-enroll a student into the course, or club members, right? So some of our club officers, like the president, vice president, secretary, they need to take it every year annually. Once a student, just a typical student, takes this once, they never have to take it again. But there's special populations on the campus that need to take it annually. Athletes, some nursing students have to take it annually, club officers. I think that's it. I think that's it. So if they have to take it annually, we need to re-enroll those students every year because, again, as I said, when they're admitted, that's the term they're in. So they wouldn't be in for spring 2024. We would have to manually enroll that. Again, if it's easier just to remember my name, send them to me, have them email me. I have no problems enrolling students. So that's Spark. Questions? I know there's probably lots of questions about Spark. Or not? No?
Is it when you administer it and then like if students don't do it, do you do a follow-up to try to get everyone to do it? Like is it like a whole semester thing where you're chasing students basically?
So yeah. So with Spark, what we it's okay. So Spark is very important, right? So Spark, we have a compliance that we need to do with Spark because of Title IX. This started out Spark started out where it was just Title IX. About 4 years ago, it moved over to student affairs, where that's when I got involved or Brian got involved. So now Spark comes through our office, but Title IX is still involved because it's about sexual harassment. So what happens is that first 2 months, usually it's in mid-October, in mid-March, is when we have to have that big push. So when they start till mid-March, when they start till mid-October, is when we need that big push of students to complete Spark, because mid-March and mid-October is when the president gets their compliance report. If our numbers are lower than all the other colleges, that doesn't look very good for us.
Gotcha.
So what's typically happening, or since we took it over, what I'm having Angelica, sorry, again, Monday morning, my apologies. I've been working with Angelica in marketing, and what we've been doing is sending out weekly emails to students. We try not to do it too early in a semester because they're already getting bombarded with so many emails. But again, it's in their admissions packet, their new student orientation packet. They're teaching at an ST100. I may need to talk to FYS. So we're really trying to push Spark as much as possible when they first start. But then probably about week 3 of the semester, we start having Angelica send out weekly reminders. And what I am able to do with that system that you just saw was I can go in and take out all the names of the students who had not completed and just send them the email that please complete Spark, please complete Spark. So I'm not harassing students who've already completed it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. So we do that all semester long. It does die down a little bit towards the end of the semester just because it starts to get busy. And then we start doing it every other week. Again, and this is not our fault. I don't think it's anybody's fault, but there were some hiccups with CUNY, right? Again, the whole 15 question test was brand new. I didn't know about it. So we sent out a whole bunch of information without that information on there. So we had to do a whole different type of push. So I'm hoping that once we move over to Brightspace, we'll have a little bit more transparency about how it's going to look and what it's going to look like. If you saw me out on club days, I've been having tables and QR codes to have students complete it. Our compliance has been better, but the numbers are not where we need them to be. So I'm sorry, international students as well need to complete Spark, I believe, every year. So yeah, so we do. We send out reminders. We send out ST100. Sometimes if I'm friends with some of the faculty members, I'll ask them to, just mention it in their courses.
Right.
ASAP does very well with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just tough getting them there. That's the hardest
It
part.
is. It is. Who has 45 minutes to sit down and watch the video? And listen, they changed the program so much where, and again, we know the tricks, right? You put the video on, you go check your email and so forth. If you even change your browser to like check an email, the video stops.
Wow.
So, and I think that's happening with eSpark as well. You have to watch the video. You can't speed anything up. So you literally have to watch the whole 45 minutes of the Spark. I think it's 43 minutes. I think I timed it. So the students really need to sit down and watch it and pay attention. Well, pay attention is one thing, but watch it and click through it in order to get the credit for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
guess we could move on to the community standards piece.
Okay. So for
Unless
community
anyone has any
standards,
questions. Does anyone have any questions
questions?
about East Park? No? Okay.
Yeah. The only thing I could really just say about Spark is if anybody has any issues, just reach out to me. Or if any students have any issues, just reach out to me. You know, I kind of know the system in and out now. It's kind of, I would say my baby, but I'm not very happy about it. So, so community standards. So there's some new things that's going on with community standards. Things have changed in the last couple of years. You know, I'm new to the team. Dean Russell just started, a couple of years ago. We have changed things up, for some of the people who've been here for a really long time, things have changed. There used to just be one dean, right? And the dean didn't have any help, Annette was there, right? So now there's a team of us. So what has happened is we broke off a little bit. Dean Russell really deals with the, situations that are really focusing on dean of student issues, whereas I'm focusing on conduct issues and I'm focusing on academic issues. So all the reports that come in really go through me. And if I feel that it's an issue that the dean of students needs to be roped in on, I will bring her into the picture. So, what I really want to get across to you guys is that if you're having a situation with a student, please send them to me first, because if you're sending them to Dean Russell, to Cola, whomever, or however you refer to her, they may not get to her. And I don't want the student to have to wait, right? So if they're having an issue, send them to me, have them email me, and then I can be that person to send them where they need to go. So there's a couple of different process, right? Students who are having academic integrity issues, let me back up. Students who have trouble with their professors, right? We deal with student issues. If a professor has an issue with a student, that comes to us. We deal with that because we're dealing with the student. If a student has a problem with their professor, we don't handle that. We can't handle that, right? Because it has to do with the professor. That goes to academic affairs. So there's a lot of times a student will come to us and want to complain about their professor. We're more than happy to sit down and talk with them, but the chances are we're going to sit and talk with them and then kind of just send them to academic affairs, because we can't sanction, we can't warn, we can't, have a conversation with a professor. That's not what we do. We're not allowed to do that. That's not our position. We do have those conversations with students though. So, there's those different processes that we have in our office where we want to make sure that everybody knows where to send a student when there's an issue. What you will encounter most is the hold, right? A student will come to you, there's a dean of student hold on their account. What does that mean? So usually when I put the hold on the account in the little box in the comments, I can't put too much in there because of privacy issues, but typically what that means is that the student has something outstanding with our office. The best thing for you to do is continue what you're doing with them, advise them, or have your conversation with them, and then have them either call us, email us, or come see us to make an appointment. Students are not going to be able to come in and see us immediately. Our schedules are usually pretty booked and packed, and we won't be able to see a student immediately.
Okay, it's not even like my picture shows or they can't hear me.
Amaladi, you have a question?
I do. Good morning. My question is, what if there's a student who disclosed there's a extenuating circumstance in the household and it's mid-semester and they want to continue the semester, however, asynchronous. Do we refer the student to your department or advisement
So-
in order to contact the professors to make accommodation if possible due to the circumstance?
It depends on the circumstance, right? So, yeah. So again, something going on in the household, that to me would sound Title IX-ish, right? So Belinda Delgado, she's not here. I don't want to talk for her, but that office is the office that tends to do accommodations like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Our office, again, we can be that first stop to make that connection and then to do that referral. But we are not going to be able to do that type of accommodation. We would check with Belinda, but I've had these conversations. We've done this before.
Okay.
It's not easy to do.
Especially
had
during
these situations.
mid-semester. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Got it.
and if the course is not offered, if there's not another course that's offered asynchronously. If the
Got it.
course is offered online, unfortunately, there's not much we can do in that situation. Well, we would work with the student. As I said, each situation is different.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So as I said, you would see the students who have holds on their accounts, send them our way. We will do our best to resolve that situation. Now, with the holds on the accounts, I just kind of want to give you a little background on that. Students will not have a hold on their account unless we reached out to them multiple times. Okay. So our policy is we contact them one time, make an appointment, they don't show up. We make an appointment the second time, they don't show up. That's when they get a hold on their account because they're avoiding us. So they don't get a hold on their account until we've already scheduled 3 times. So by the time they are ready to get advisement or see somebody and they have that hold on and they get this upset, you can say, you know what, can you go back and look at your emails, either from Jennifer Klein or now that Erica works with us, Miss Gaynor, they will have multiple emails from us stating you had an appointment here, you had an appointment here. And in our emails, we state if you can't make the appointment due to scheduling conflict, please let us know and we'll change your appointment. We will not make appointments for students during their class time. We don't do that. We will see students in person. We will see students via Zoom. We try to make it as accommodating as possible. We are not here to hurt students. We are here to make things as easy as possible, but we do have to address these conduct type situations that come to us from professors about conduct issues and about academic integrity issues. This year, actually the last 2 years, conduct issues have been skyrocketing. I'm sure you all see it in all your departments. For some reason, students coming back from COVID, things have not been the same. And it's not just the students, it's everybody. I'm not saying it's always the students' situation. It could be professor situations, it could be faculty, it could be staff. We're doing our best to make sure that everybody gets the services that they need. I'm trying to think of what else for community standards. I think that's about it. We will see students if they come in and they just want to talk. I'm there, I
Right.
will sit and I will talk to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we can always tell them that you're teaching social work.
You could, and listen, I don't know who made that call, but I got a class for fall, so thank you very much, whoever it was. Yeah, definitely. I am teaching social work, yes.
Great. Any questions on community standards? Okay. Well, we're right on schedule. Thank you so much, Jen. Really appreciate you guys
Thank you.
chiming in. It's always important to keep up with what's going on, especially those holds too, because I have definitely seen those holds.
Yes.
So really appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Okay, moving on next, we have Elizabeth Necessarian and Bonnie Flaherty. Welcome. Good morning. Hello.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Hi,
I'm
hi.
sorry. It took me a second to click on both things.
Good morning.
That
Good
darn
morning,
mute button.
everyone. I know. Good morning. All right, so Bonnie, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Okay. We just have a small presentation. We thought visual would be better to explain the USIP and first year FYS expansion for the summer and the fall. So we've piloted now 2 semesters of somewhat of a first year experience. It is a work in progress, and so each time it's maybe a little different, but for going forward, it's going to be an expansion of what we organized in the spring, let's say. Okay, sorry. So basically the USIP math and English we're focusing on. The criteria for the June session, we would like for continuing students only. So these students do not need to register for the fall FYS course. Bonnie, chime in at any time, okay? And then for the July and August sessions, we would like it for the first-time freshmen, transfer students, anybody basically new to the college. It's an 8-week class that will be required of the students that are registered for the July and August sessions. So basically what we want to do is anybody that's registering for the USIP math or English in July and August, we are requiring them to register for the 8-week fall first year seminar course, which is linked to an ST100 that will focus on the mental health. And then, not to confuse the situation even more, but obviously we need these students to progress. And so it would be advantageous for them to register for their next level credited math or English course, depending upon which USIP that they're taking. And ideally, the class that has supplemental instruction offered with them. Obviously, these are developmental students. We would like to continue the path of extra help for them, extra support for them, so that we feel like this type of continuation for the students entering makes sense. Bonnie, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I want to jump in and really emphasize the rationale behind this is to really, as we're growing this program, is to focus our first efforts on students who are coming with some gaps in their academic preparation so that they have a more robust support network and a clear path in their first semester. And that 8-week course, it meets once a week for 8 weeks. ST100 that they will be registering for also will meet 1 hour a week for 8 weeks. So it's really this kind of paired support right at the beginning. And I think the other thing to say is that it's not a tightly structured learning community, which is what we had attempted in previous semesters, but more that these are the components of what students should have in their first semester.
Right. They're the only thing that's really linked is the FYS and the ST100. Obviously, we recognize that student schedules need a lot of flexibility. So we don't, we know that. And we know it's tough to schedule everything for a student. We want this, we want that. But as we will explain in the next slide, there's a lot of advantages that we can explain to students by taking this path that will save them time and money in the future.
I want to take Kat's question in the
Oh,
chat.
sorry.
Yes,
Go ahead.
it is to all USIP sections in July and August, targeting new and transfer students. The USIP sessions that are up in CUNY first that are running in June are for continuing students. So someone who's picking up their math or their English after having had 1 or 2 semesters here. So yes, all USIPs that run in July and August should enrollment in one of those USIPs should be connected to FYS and ST 100. Kat, we are also talking with Robert about what that means for CD students. I know that's a really specific requirement for your students and summer.
Yes, we're trying to work that out. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't see the chat, sorry. But if you have questions, you can raise your hand as well. But yeah. Okay, so let's explain some advantages or that you can explain to the students. What are some advantages of taking this USIP to the seminar course that's linked to the ST 100? So a lot of advantages to taking a free USIP course, right? A, it's free. Saves them time in the semester. There's not enough ALP courses for every student coming in with a developmental need for them to take in the fall. So we want to maximize the students' eligibility to progress timely by addressing their developmental need before they get into the semester. So obviously not everyone can take a summer USIP. So then there are ALP courses for them in the fall to take, of course. But it's been in our past experience that a lot of students can take it. There's flexibility in scheduling. We have online, we have in person, so that there are many ways that they can fill their developmental need prior to getting into the first semester. Once they do that, then they can take the first year seminar course, which will explain to them all the opportunities available on campus for support and other areas, help them navigate college life, connect them with a peer mentor that will follow them through the semester, and give them all sorts of resources that are going to help them for success, plus put them in that credited course that they need as well as a first time entering freshman or their first semester. And then lastly, the ST 100 that is linked is going to have a different reflection. It'll be more mental health oriented, again, promoting awareness, engagement, community connectivity, all the things that students in our surveys of the college have expressed that they really need and would like to see more of. Bonnie, do you want to add anything that I missed or anything?
I would say that the FYS 100 sections are being taught by full-time either student affairs or academic affairs staff. So it's another opportunity for students to kind of build their network out at the college and have someone else who not just is providing information for them, but has a direct contact. And I'm teaching one of the sections this semester, and students have, all kinds of questions about career services, about the dean of students, about advocacy resource center, like basically everything that is on the list for presentations today. And they're all pieces of information that we're emailing out to students that are on the website, but having that kind of additional layer of personal contact, I think has been really, really helpful for students as they figure out how to navigate their way through the school.
Yeah,
David, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Elizabeth.
No, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, like, the point is also right to guide them through and to also guide them and send them to their special programs. So if they are in special programs, we're going to help them connect with that again, even though, like Bonnie said, emails have been sent, but students need reinforcement and they need it from all different angles. And when they get that is maybe more they will respond. More of them will respond. Not 100%, but at least we're trying to get more of them to respond.
David, your question, will there be any USIP sections offered for continuing students in July and August in case they cannot attend earlier? I think right now that there isn't a specific continuing students USIP section for July or August, but students who are continuing obviously should be able to register for those.
Yes, for sure. Obviously we can put continuing students in the July and August USIPs. We would like them to go into the June if possible. But again, we're flexible because we know that we have to be for students because they can't do everything exactly the way we'd like them to do, and that is fine. So with some flexibility, we can obviously register students in the July and August USIPs. Those students don't need to be in the FYS. But that being said, obviously, we need to, we need to encourage the students to take this path because for many of our students, repeating classes, a lot of students complain about, oh, I don't want to do something I don't have to do. But in essence, this is going to save them time and money. Again, one of the things that we link them to is academic support mid-semester and from the beginning and throughout their semester. And the peer mentor also follows them and encourages them to seek support when needed at various times of the semester. So this could possibly help them from repeating a course unnecessarily. And that will, again, save them money and time. So, we have to encourage students that connecting them with the resources and, again, reinforcing that early on, we want them to be successful. So this is the whole point of it. Obviously, we all want them to be successful. That's why we're here. And any other questions about the information here or anything else? My last slide is just the thank you. So I don't want to move off the information in case somebody has another question.
So Arthur, your question, do we know when the courses will be up? We're working out the final schedules for FYS and the identified ST100s and recommended supplemental instruction sections of the English and Math Gateways. When we have that all together, we'll be pulling that into one document and sending it out to everybody. We just wanted to give you all the overview before while we have this opportunity before registration starts.
All right, my last slide is just thank you for your help. Obviously, the program is not going to be successful without everyone on board, and we really appreciate your help and commitment towards it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Bonnie, or you can email, the Office of Student Success, which I check as well. So we wanted to kind of filter out the emails into one email box so we know that that's dedicated for this particular program. So you can definitely call me directly, Bonnie, or you can send an email through this, which, will be read by me.
Great. Any other
Let me
questions?
stop sharing.
Sure. Okay. Well, we're doing great on time today. I must say, one of our smoother sessions. Okay,
Awesome.
so now
you.
thank you so much from the both of you. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Always happy to see you. So, okay, next we're moving on to Janielle Allen from CUNY Edge.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, William, for inviting me to today's session. I'm just going to go over the general information about the CUNY Edge program and also some of the paperwork that we complete for students. So if you ever have a student coming with paperwork and they don't know where to go, you know exactly where to send them. So I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so this is just the general information about the program. We are in partnership with New York City's administration, Human Administration, also known as HRA. CUNY EDGE, the EDGE stands for Educate, Develop, Graduate, and Empower. For those that were here previously, the program was called the COPE program. We are one of the special service programs in student affairs. Our work hours, well, office hours in person are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then Tuesdays, the total office hours are 9 to 7, and from 5, really from 4:30 to 7, we have remote hours. We're located in the library building in room 440. We also share the office suite with the Advocacy Resource Center. Here are my direct emails and also the general programs email that if you ever have a student, they can email either one. It could be myself, or they can email just a general CUNY Edge email so that they can get in contact with either one of us in the program. These are an array of the different services we provide. We provide secondary academic, personal, and also career development, advisement for our students. We have seminars and workshops that cover each one of those different areas that we provide advisement in. We also have a CUNY Edge scholarship with the Mitsui company where they offer one scholarship for associate's level student and 2 scholarships for bachelor's. Now this is a CUNY Edge wide scholarship, so there are all 18 of the different campuses students who are applying for this scholarship. So it's 16 students who are at associate level programs in either the community colleges or the comprehensive colleges. And those scholarships, if awarded, they are the tuition for the entire year for the student to be able to receive. The program does give incentives to our students for achieving academic achievements, either for first year students, not first year CUNY Edge students, first year QCC students in the CUNY Edge program. If they earn a 3.0 or greater, they are awarded a full incentive, which they receive in the summer. If they are a returning QCC student and also in CUNY Edge, they can either earn 3.0 or they can improve their cumulative GPA by 0.5, totaling at least a 2.5 cumulative GPA, and they can also be awarded the incentive. The incentive can be provided for students either funds put on their student ID card for them to use here on campus, or if the student opts for it, they can have a general, usually either a Visa or a MasterCard gift card given to them. We do offer in-session tuition assistance, helping students pay for either their winter classes or their summer classes if they're not meeting the eligibilities for any type of financial aid or STEM waivers. We offer a very small, very small for textbook vouchers to help students buy their books. Advocacy and referrals on and off campus. We have summer internship programs. And I'm going to skip down to our CUNY Edge PACE Career and Professional Development Network. That is something that's new. They're just recently in their second cohort, and that is a CUNY Edge central office service that's being provided to all of the campuses. For any of the students who are seniors here, they can be referred to this program. It provides them with a number of different services within, from just learning about professional etiquette and resume, cover letter, and I should say an expansion of it, because CUNY Edge in general offers these services, but this is an extended program that is only focused on that. And they are also getting our students paid internships, only, I should say, paid internships, whereas my office here at QCC, we do not only focus on paid internships, but we do focus on getting the students some type of internship throughout their academic career, typically summer internships. And then last, we offer a peer-to-peer program so that the students can get together, help each other, whatever their obstacles or issues may be. We try to link them either based on their personal, like their family compositions, if they're parents, whatever that may look like. We try to link them with that. We also link them with their majors and or their future professional aspirations. As I said before, this is a partnership with HRA. So with our students completing the paperwork for HRA, they are eligible for transportation money. And if it's a student parent, they are eligible to receive childcare services for them. I'm not going to talk too much about the fellowship program because that is currently suspended as per of HRA's services. So this is the paperwork that we obtain for the CUNY Edge program. It's our intake. It is a HRA 154 form. It's a FERPA release student contract, and we also do a student assessment. Now I'm going to stop sharing this page and I'm going to show you what those forms actually look like. So as I said before, if you have a student that comes and they need help with getting the form completed, you know exactly where to send them. 1 second. Okay, so let's see if this works. Okay, so this is the form for HRA. It will just look like this. This will be the first page. If they come with this, you know, just send them to L440. It's a rather long form. It's about 6 pages and it is completed by this office. The only thing the student has to do is sign off on it. Once it's completed, we send it to them for them to review it just so they're aware. It asks for their schedule, general information, if car fare and childcare is provided by CUNY Edge, which it's not, it's provided by HRA. And then it's stamped or an electronic stamp and it's sent to that respected office. And we also complete the childcare forms for students receiving childcare services through ACS. So that's what this one would look like, and it's a much it's a much more simple form. I can send these to the people on the presentation now, just so you have them for your own records, but I believe they have been sent to most offices, such as definitely Advisement, registrar office, but I can send them if you'd like to your offices. That that is it for the sharing part. If anyone, well, another thing that is different about CUNY Edge than some of our sister programs such as ASAP and College Discovery, for CUNY Edge, there is no deadline or cutoff for a student to become a student of CUNY Edge. They can be a first year, first semester student, or they can be in their last semester. Our eligibility is based on them receiving public assistance and needing these forms completed for their respected cases, and also to have them be eligible for the additional things that I discussed, such as transportation money and also childcare. So it is no specific eligibility term for them. They can be at any aspect of their academic career here. And because we do have CUNY Edges on all of the different campuses, we also transfer our students from Queensboro to York to Hunter to John Jay to SPS, so that it is a smooth transition for our students. They don't have to go hunting around their new respected colleges to find the CUNY Edge office. We provide them with all that information before they leave QCC, and then prior to the semester beginning, they are contacted by their respected four-year colleges. That's all I have to present. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, I think you explained it really well.
All right, then. Thank you. And everyone, I hope you have a wonderful Monday.
Thank you for coming, and I really appreciate the information.
You're
And any
welcome.
documents you could pass on would be helpful. You can send it to me if
Okay.
you can share. Thank you.
Okay, will do.
All right. All right. Next up is Stefan Spezio from CTAS. Hey, Stefan, how are you?
All right. Good morning, Will. Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for having us here. Greatly appreciate it. I'll start off, I think, with sharing my screen here. Just a couple of basic kind of things to go over. A lot of you, I imagine, are probably familiar with this, but we offer tutoring for about 150 different courses at this point. We have about just over 60 tutors. We provide tutoring now since the beginning of the fall semester. We provide tutoring for math courses. The Math Learning Center was merged with the Center for Tutoring and Academic Support. And so now we're about just over 150 courses that we provide tutoring for. Our hours are as they have been for the last several years: Monday through Thursday, 10 to 7, Friday, 10 to 3, Saturday, 10 to 3. The important thing about Saturday, of course, though, is that Saturday is virtual tutoring only. Every other day of the week, we have both in-person as well as online tutoring. Saturday is online tutoring only. Here are all of our information I'm going to explain to you is available through the website. We have all of our list of courses here that you can take a look, or you can direct a student who might have a question to see if their course shows up. It'll also show up if they try to make a one-time appointment. They can then choose either a course tutor or a writing tutor. If they click on make an appointment, they can enter their first name, last name, and the last two digits of their ID. And if once they go into that, we can actually, the system pulls their information directly from CUNY First, and they can see whether or not we have a tutor available for the course that they're specifically requesting assistance for. In addition to our one-time sessions, we obviously have drop-in, and so that's actually probably our most popular way of providing assistance for students, both for either individual or small group tutoring. People just come in, it's basically first come, first serve. They start the session, they get a maximum of 50 minutes. That's 50 for people who sometimes hear 15. And they complete the session, and once they're done, they can either come in for another one later in the week. But We have the one time, we have the drop-in, and then we also have the weekly. And the weekly is certainly something that we encourage students to utilize, especially if they feel like they're going to be facing a course that's very complicated, maybe particularly challenging for them. So they're eligible to apply for a time slot. We recommend a series of time slots that they have available in their schedule, so that they are able to find we are able to connect them with a tutor. So in that case, they have the same tutor at the same time for the entire duration of the semester. In addition to the drop-in, the weekly, and the one-time, we also offer a variety of online resources. For example, for our pre-nursing A&P students, we have worked for the last several years with Dr. David Sacristano from the biology department, and he has put together a series of A&P review sessions. Any of these links take you directly usually to YouTube, and you're able to, there's about 21, 22 of these videos. We have a variety of links for writing. We have a link, an assignment calculator so if a student is working on a big project, they can actually put in the due date of the project, what kind of project it is, and then it'll actually kind of give them a calendar about what should they have done at what point prior to the assignment date being due. These are all obviously things in addition to sessions that we can complete in the center. And I actually want to say specifically in the center, which I think this is an interesting thing that whenever I have the opportunity, I like to point out. We keep track of this in terms of our own session appointments. And right now, as of this semester, it's actually higher than it has been. Right now, we're at about a 78% clip. All of the tutoring sessions that we have been having for the entire spring semester thus far, 78% of those have been in person. So keep in mind that for every hour that we're open, whether a tutor is on, when a tutor is on campus, they could either be having an online session or an in-person session. Students are electing to have those sessions in person. I think they just get a good more deal out of it. And I know that there's a strong narrative and feeling about students want online, but there is a very strong subset of students that are very concerned about doing well in their courses. And when they're coming to ask us for assistance, given the option of either, they're choosing in person. However, in addition to our in-person and online synchronous sessions, and obviously right now we do all of our synchronous tutoring sessions through Blackboard. We're going to be moving to Brightspace as that comes up, as we all know that transition's coming soon. But we also have, and we have had for several years, TigerWrite, which is an asynchronous writing exchange, a writing paper exchange system, where basically they complete a series of questions. They click I'm a QC student, they submit their paper. We ask for as much information about the writing prompt and whether there's multiple drafts due, if there's been any feedback from the professor on a given draft, and then we are able to incorporate that, and one of the tutors within the center is able to provide feedback and response within about 36 to 48 hours. In addition to all of those things, our newest addition to the center, which is about maybe 2.5 weeks old now, again, this is primarily for our biology, A&P, and pre-nursing students, is something that we were able to get through a Perkins grant, is the Anatomage virtual dissection table. So we had a training on this last Thursday, and we're ready to deliver it to students now with all of our A&P tutors, as well as our nursing tutors. And this is basically it's a 7-foot tall, imagine if you can conceive it, a 7-foot tall iPad, basically is what it looks like. It looks like a cross between an iPad and a gurney. And it's a massive table, and if anybody wants to come down and take a look at it, I'd be happy to kind of show it off. It's very exciting. The tutors love to bring it out and show people at this point. But what it does basically is there are 5 actual cadavers. These are real people, real cadavers with real pathologies, kind of different body shape, physiology, so on and so forth. And students are able to manipulate the basically cross sections of all of these cadavers, as well as looking at body physiology, pathologies for, let's say, oncology, reproductive stages in utero, all of these different things. And these are, again, these are based off of real MRIs, scans, super high fidelity, and they can basically go through microsection by microsection. So it's a really, really astonishing piece of hardware that we were able to procure through a Perkins grant. And we're about to really get going with it for the latter part of this spring semester. In addition to all of those things, again, our standard groups, we have our grammar groups for students who are looking to improve kind of their mechanical writing concerns. We have our conversation hours for our English language learners. We've been running them continuously since we've been back from the kind of pandemic. We tried running them during the pandemic virtually, not terribly successful, but we've had a pretty nice resurgence since we've returned to campus. Again, students that seem to be wanting to come for tutoring are coming the vast majority of the time in person. We also provide space here for students. So if you have students, they're not sure where to go with regards to doing study, providing study space on campus. We have areas here that we're not able to permanently make them available. It's like, say, when I mean permanently, I mean like throughout the day, we might have a large class visit that comes through. We might have an event that takes place, but we try to make sure that there are some tables every day within the center that are kind of reserved, not entire sections of the center, but tables that are reserved for students to sit and work quietly at, study at, either individually or in small groups. We also try to, provide them with not software, hardware. So for example, if they're looking to take an online course, but they're already on campus, that was actually something that came up at a large meeting I recently attended. If you have a student who's saying, I have this course that ends at 10:30, and I have another course that begins right after, and I can't get home in time, or I can't get somewhere else in time, they can come here. We can provide them with headphones. They just sign them out at the front desk. They can attend their course online in the center. And so we try to provide those opportunities for students as well. We know that kind of quiet, academic spaces are kind of hard to come by on campus in a number of ways. So we recognize that really, again, coming back from the pandemic, we sort of realized that providing space for students for that service specifically was something that we had not really thought of as kind of an essential part of what we were doing. We thought we were primarily tutoring, and that's still kind of our main goal. Obviously, it's like that, but now it's like there's a 1A, which is making sure that we provide a legitimate kind of decent space for them to be able to complete their studies here in a clean, well-lighted space, so that they feel confident in pursuing the rest of their academic concerns. Again, tutoring sessions are 50 minutes long. Students are able to make an appointment for a class. So for example, if you have 5 classes, you are able to make ostensibly 1 appointment at a time for each one of those 5 classes. We don't normally encourage, or really, unless it's very, very, very specific and unique circumstance, multiple appointments for the same class kind of laid out, unless you're doing a weekly appointment, just because we've had the phenomenon where students try to basically block out a certain tutor, or let's say they're very concerned about an exam. And then what ends up happening is they'll take, in the past, they would have tried to have taken 1, 2, 3 sessions. They get everything they need done in the first session, the second session, and then the other sessions that they may have booked coming up, they basically forget about, and then those sessions are basically wasted because they're being held for someone who doesn't intend to use them. We do, as another kind of, in terms of giving information to students, all appointments are held for 5 minutes. We begin all of our appointments on the hour, which sometimes is a bit frustrating for students, I know, because depending on when a class time ends, but it's just in terms of our system and how things work. Drop-in sessions can begin at any time. throughout the working day of the center, which again is 10 to 7 Monday through Thursday, 10 to 3 Friday and Saturday. But appointments always begin on the hour just because it makes it easier to sort of deploy our staff resources that way. Again, we have about 65, 66 tutors, but they're all, again, they're covering 150 different courses. And, the vast majority of the tutoring that we see is really coming from about 10 to 15 to 20 courses. And they're generally ones that you could probably think of off the top of your head that are the ones that are the most populous. They have the largest registrations, your English 101s, your Math 119s, Bio 301, certain business courses, Speech 211, actually, very, very, very high incidence of seeking assistance. We're of course always looking to increase our connection with students. So if they have any questions, or if you have any questions, for me, definitely feel free to reach out. Here's our staff page. That's my email address, of course. My direct extension, this is like the center phone number. My direct extension, of course, is 5007. And I'm more than happy to take any questions either now or privately by phone or by email or what have you later on. So I guess I'll stop there as I think I'm getting up to time. Any questions for me?
There's a question in the chat. When
Oh,
are your
sorry.
when are your conversational hours conducted?
The conversation hours, great question. So conversation hours, the calendar for that is, 1 second. How do I stop sharing? Sorry. 1 second. We have them a few different times throughout the week, and you can check the dates here. So again, the students can take a look at this as well. So Monday, these are actually the entire list. So Tuesdays, 12 to 12:50, Wednesdays, 12 to 12:50. Those are the conversation hours that we provide currently. We had a few more than that usually, but we've actually found that about 2 to 3 times per week, depending on the semester, is kind of the sweet spot in terms of not diluting the impact, where because again, these are generally run by and facilitated by either one of our full-time staff or one of our tutors. So we're trying to make sure that they're done at times where students are more likely to show up.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. There's a lot of everything's back at the website, so it's pretty informative there to get all the information. Thank you, Stefan. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all for again the inclusion, and see you soon. Thank you.
Right. Until the next meeting. Thank you. Next up is Amawati Ganesh. Hi.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well on this sunny Monday morning. So my name is Amawati Ganesh. I manage the Advocacy Resource Center. My colleagues are Melissa Brito and Anna Gagliano. Our department consists of 2 full-timers, 1 part-timer, and occasionally we have federal work study students who sit at the front desk for coverage. So if you ever come in or call us, either the one of the 3 of us will definitely be able to assist any type of request that we can. Okay, William, let me go ahead and share my screen. So I'm going to give you all my elevator pitch of what we do. Then I'll talk about some specific requests students come in and ask for. So what do? We basically assist students apply for public benefits. We provide wraparound services for tax preparation, which is going on right now. financial coaching, so students can discuss with a financial coach basic financial literacy topics such as creating a budget, managing a budget, establishing a credit. If you have bad credit, what do you do? We also have legal services where students can speak to a legal representative about family law, immigration, housing, and consumer law. So that's basically the multiple services that our program provides. I'm going to talk about the SNAP program. That is, I would say, the number one request from students. And then the second right now would be the Fairfares NYC Metro card, just given the cost of transportation and the cost of food. So SNAP actually, the definition for SNAP, right? Because everyone knows it as food stamps or something else. But SNAP is formerly known as food stamps, and it's a federally funded program created to reduce hunger and malnutrition among low-income households. The three levels of government administer the SNAP program in New York City. One, the federal government, which is known as USDA, and that stands for the United States Department of Agriculture. On the state level, OTDA, the Office of Temporary Disability Assistance, they manage the fair hearing request. And what is a fair hearing? So if an individual applies for SNAP and they were wrongfully denied, they can request a fair hearing where they go down to the main HRA hub that's downtown Manhattan, and they meet with a judge, and they go ahead and provide their documents and their case to say that no, indeed, the HRA caseworker was incorrect, wrongfully denied me, and here is the proof in order to reinstate my SNAP allotment. And on the local level, the Human Resources Administration, which is also known as HRA, located in conjunction with the Department of Social Services, administers the SNAP program at the local level, which is in NYC. So the three levels of government share the responsibility of the SNAP program. So the USDA makes national standards of eligibility. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. So I'm giving you a little history information, but I'm going somewhere with this. The state and local governments make their own rules, procedures, and ensure SNAP offices follow the SNAP Act and other federal SNAP regulations. So I give you that brief overview to say that currently the federal government reverted back to pre-pandemic rules for college students. So during the pandemic, they were more lenient and more individuals received the SNAP program, right? Offices closed down. Although it was at times very difficult to get in touch with their actual live representative, more cases were approved. So with having that said, going back to the pre-pandemic rules for college students, they now have to, as in the past, have to be employed 20 hours a week or part of the federal work-study program. So if they are a federal work-study student, they are automatically eligible for SNAP, in addition to meeting the other requirements, but that's the work rule exemption. Also with CUNY, if a student is enrolled in a qualified career or technical education program, they meet that exemption. So what are the other exemptions that they have to meet? Well, age, household size, and immigration status. And that's based on individual cases and who is in the household, because a household can have a mixed immigrant status household. So what does that mean? Just husband and wife, they can be citizens of the United States. Their children can be green card holders. Well, for how many years? And then that conversation goes on, but again, based on individual cases. As I discuss the food benefit, the most popular one is SNAP. There's also WIC for those expecting. Usually an individual can receive WIC or apply for WIC at their local hospital, and usually they're automatically enrolled and approved. Starting tomorrow, every Tuesdays, March 19th through May 19th, our department will distribute the fresh fruit bag program as we did last semester. However, we're starting earlier in the semester, so this will start tomorrow all through May. Marketing, they're working on advertising this program. So if you know any students, they can come to the food pantry. That's what will be set up. And free bags of fruits and vegetables will be distributed to students on a first come first base service. The next benefit is the Fairfares NYC Metro card. As if you're aware, the cost to ride the subway or a bus is outrageous. So we have seen an increase of students coming to our office requesting for the Fairfares 50% discount Metro card. It's a online application where students can submit through the Access HRA portal or Access NYC portal. It takes roughly about 10 to 15 minutes. Like any type of online account, you have to create a profile, enter your demographics, household size, income. Most students are approved providing that they submit supporting documents. So after you submit the application, which takes about 10 to 15 minutes, they have to download the app onto their phone or their device and upload supporting documentations. Usually it's two, and the two documents are either identity and age and proof of address, because the MTA Metro card, the Metro card will be mailed to their home. If they enter, it's a very specific portal that they want to make sure that the address is 100% accurate. If not, it's going to go somewhere else. And then according to the rules, you only have one chance to get a replacement Metro card. If not, we'll have to reapply. Let's see. Our office also provides emergency Metro cards. So if it's a student discloses to you that they jumped a turnstile, they cannot get home, but they were able to get onto campus and attend their classes, you can refer them to our office and we'll provide them with the emergency Metro cards, and we'll make sure that they enrolled in Fairfares NYC for long-term transportation. Housing. So another issue in New York City is the cost of rent. So we actually assist and see several students who are at risk for eviction. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean that they're being kicked out yet. It doesn't mean that they're going to housing court. It means that they may have possibly received a letter from their landlord or a notice saying you have X amount of days to vacate the premises. So what we typically do is refer them to our legal services, which is a private hotline number. And we place the student in a cubicle where there is privacy so they can talk to a legal representative to talk about their situation and the next steps. I won't go into much detail because that's also based on an individual basis. So when we have these situations, that's where the wraparound services come into place. Can they apply for a one-shot deal? We have to see if they're eligible for that benefit. A one-shot deal is provided by the Department of Social Services, HRA, and depending on their case, they may have to pay that back. It's kind of like a loan from the city, right? If they were to go there, that's the outcome, or that's the expectation, that you may have to pay it back. We also refer students who are couch surfing or who are at risk for eviction to apply for student emergency grants. Our office administers 3. The most popular is the Carolyn Milton Student Emergency Grant. The second grant is for non-citizens. It's not publicized. It's fairly a decent amount of money, but keep in mind these are for non-citizens. So they will not receive Pell or most likely they will not receive Pell or TAP. So we try to be very conscious of how much we provide to them, because we know that that's a one-time deal. So we try to be very gracious to those individuals because of the cost of living in New York City. We also have the third grant, which the funders of the foundation asked to be anonymous, but it's a one-time small emergency grants for students. And with this grant, we help students receive laptops, winter clothing, and so forth. I stress that it's a one-time small grant, and that's a third-party organization or foundation that we communicate with. They have their rules, and at times we feel they're a little strict, but that's their policy. So if we feel the student would benefit from that grant, there is a process that comes with that. We have to submit a application through their portal and provide some more supporting documentation. However, the student has to prove that they will not be in this situation again. So we meet with the student and we discuss what entails in terms of working with them in order to get approved. See, and lastly, right now, up until April, I believe, to the 12th, we're providing tax services. We have 2 sessions, one on Wednesdays and one on Fridays. The session on Wednesdays is virtual. It's from, there's 2 sessions, 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. The in-person session is in LB 26, and that's offered on Fridays at 9:30, 11:30, and 2:30. This is, I believe, the 6th year that we partner with the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance to provide what is called a tax assistance program to students, and they actually provide this assistance to community members. Their model is teaching the student how to file their income tax returns. Typically, students have a basic standard return. Students come to the lab or they join the session, they meet with them one-on-one, and they go through the steps of looking at your W-2 form. What does that mean? What is, and then they complete their tax returns. A successful session in person can last up to a half hour, 45 minutes. What we do is the day before each session, we email each student the link, because we have a specific link dedicated to Queensborough that students can use to create a profile. So once they create a profile and set that up, it's easier for them to start a session. That way they're not there for more than 45 minutes to an hour, right? So we're trying to make sure that a lot of the information that needs to be inputted into the system is completed. Students can complete this intake form. Our staff receives it on the back end, and then we determine if the student is eligible. I'll go back up. How do you contact us? You can either email us, walk across the hall, call us. We are on Starfish. Students can make an appointment independently if they click here. And we ask each student for the first time to complete an ARC intake form. That way, if the student has an appointment for this Friday, I can, and they come into the office and they make an appointment, we direct them to our door that has a QR code where they can complete the intake form. That way, when Friday comes, I have a better understanding of the household dynamic. I understand a little bit more about the household size, who's there, their zip code, because rewind going back to the SNAP benefit or public benefits, if students reside in New York City, they use a specific platform to do the online application. If they reside in Long Island, either Nassau or Suffolk, that's another website. So that gives me heads up of what site I'm going to use to do the application, or gets me a little bit more familiarized for the assessment, so I know what questions to specifically ask to really dig deep and see and understand what benefit they are eligible for. I think I'm there at 11:45. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
We can give you a couple extra minutes if you need to finish. It's okay.
Let me see. Yeah, because I think that's as much that that's the gist of it. That's the popular services
Right.
that students are coming in for. I gave an overview of the SNAP program. It's just for your FYI and just how that works. We also attend on a monthly basis with the Food Bank of New York City. They provide a monthly SNAP task force meeting, and we attend this meeting, which is virtual, to listen to federal, state, and local updates from USDA and certain stakeholders who explain upcoming changes or what have certain constituents in the community have been doing to advocate on behalf of college students and New Yorkers in order to make sure that they're receiving their benefit.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, any questions for Amawati? Anyone? No? Another well-explained presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, and next we have Ingrid Jaramillo Estrella from Registrar. Good morning. Good morning. It's still morning.
Good morning. Yes. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you.
So I will share my screen. So I would like just to let all of you know that during retire since December 2023, so I have been doing her job duties as well as mine. So we are still short of staff, but hopefully we are hoping that this can change very soon. So as all of you know that the GridWorks upgrade from 5.0.7 went to 5.1.2. This upgrade was more like a functionality upgrade. It was not actually how the way it looks or what it actually, the information that it has. Everything remains the same, like visually, but the upgrade was more like in the back, how the system is working, how the classes are being placed. And also, like to give you an example, we had a problem with the sharing from the writing intensive with the free electives. So this is something that we are expecting that this upgrade is going to fix. I did a lot of testing and looks like it's working. So, but you know that something else when we are doing the testing and something else is when the actual upgrade is posted in the server and is actually running from there. So I'm hoping that this is something that is fixed. So now the GridWorks is available for everyone. The only thing that you will need to do is to actually clean the cache and the cookies before you logging in. So once you do that, once you clean the cache and the cookies in the settings of the browser, you will need to actually close it and open it up again. So like this is going to work. The way that the information is in this moment, the last updated was March 6th. So when you see the audit at this moment, you are going to see it exactly in the same way that it was in March 6th, March 8th. So there's no updates yet. So the way that the audit look like will be updated tomorrow. So for example, if the student is registering for summer, you know that it will take 24 to 48 hours to actually populate the audit. But just to give you like a heads up about why the date is behind, this is the reason why. Because the audit is not actually updated until tomorrow, with tomorrow's date, actually. So in this moment, you will see it backdated. Also, the transfer worry feature, if you are using it, is not going to be available until Wednesday, March 20th. There are a few important notes that I would like to mention. The substitutions, waivers, and credit shortage of forms, they are exactly being handled in the same way like when Dory was here. So the chair of the department approves it, it goes to OAA, and the provost and her team actually reviews them, and they later, once they approve it and they sign it, they send it back to us, and I am the one that is processing it in the reworks. And I have two staff that are helping me with the processing on the transcripts. So it is two ways in here that the process has to be made. It has to be on the audit and also on the transcript. Some substitutions have like condition. Some of them can be applied once the student is on the certain curriculum. If the student changes the curriculum, most of the time the substitutions or waivers are not being actually applied. So in this case, the advisor will need to request a new one.
Wow, that's
And
crazy.
and another thing is like, for example, there are substitutions that are only for one semester. So they are valid only.
Wow.
Yeah, so in this case, it's because they are very sensitive. So once they are approved only for one semester, we need to wait for the final grade to be posted. And if the student is graduating, we can actually do that. So sometimes what I'm doing, I don't know how Doreen was doing it, but in my way, I am putting a note at the bottom of the audit to make the student aware that the substitution is approved, but it's going to be posted once the grade is there. And also, if it is for one semester only, that means that it's only for candidates for graduation for that semester. So that is the condition of the substitution. So they are not something that is forever, right? It's going to be posted by curriculum and also by the condition for semester. There are some of them that are called blanket substitutions, that they are only valid for the curriculum that the chair is approving it. And also, if the chair is no longer the chair, sometimes the new chair doesn't like the blanket substitution, so they remove them. So those are the tricks, I would say, about the substitutions and waivers. I would like to mention something about the number of credits in the range, like for example, for LS or Psych or LA. Not because the range of the courses have like a starting point in 9 credits or 8 credits or 3 credits means that the student is going to be okay just with the limit, starting with the limit of the range of credits. The numbers need to add up. So just make sure that when the students are registering for classes, just make sure that the numbers are actually adding up to the 60 credits. Because we have situations where the students are short 0.5 credits or even 1 credit. And it's unfortunate because even if we try to do everything we can, there's nothing that we can actually move around that can help them. So that is something just to make you all aware. So when this happens, it's better that the student, you will need just to add the courses and help the student adding the courses or teach the student how to add the courses. So like this, the amount of, or the number of credits is going to be adding up to the amount of credits that they actually need to require for graduation. About the transfer credits applying in pathways, it's not a good practice to move around the transfer credits when they are already applying in the audit, also because of financial aid. Because financial aid already pay for these courses most of the time. So when they are already applying in pathways, we leave them there. The only one that I see that is a problem is with life and physical science, because for some reason the lab portion is not actually attached to the lecture in another colleges, like for example, York. So sometimes what happens is that these credits are transferred in only with 3 credits instead of 4. So that is something that I would like that if you can please help me catching those things, because sometimes when the students are transferring, they are short of 1 credit because of that. So in this type of cases, we will need to remove that class from the life and physical science, and the student will need to take another one that is actually with the lab portion included. Unless if the chair of the department, if it is physics or chemistry, they allow the student to have another course or adding the lab portion to, adding the lab portion to this specific course that is in life and physical science already applying, that will be something that it can be done, but only the chair of the department will determine if in reality this course can be included like that, and adding just the lab portion, just taking another course that can be completed in this case for that requirement. But as I said, the chair will need to be involved on this and they will need to approve it. About the degree works scribe, so every program changes occur every summer. So we go by catalog year. So that means that the catalog year starts in the summer and involves fall and spring. So in this case, for example, for the new changes of curriculum that are coming, that means that they are going to be, will start making the changes in the summer 2024, and that will include the catalog year 2024-2025. So that means fall 2024, spring 2025. So that is the way how the program changes occur in curriculum. So we do it every summer. The only changes that can be make a little difference will be the new courses for pathways. So for those courses is once they are applied, like approved, I start applying them to the pathways part. But in that case is after I receive notification from OAA and with the approval. So those are the only things that we can actually start doing before the summer. But for any curriculum changes, that it has to be approved by the academic university report that is showing actually listed there, and is approved by the academic senate and by the board of trustees. Those changes need to be made by the summer. So, the catalog year is also important because the catalog year has to match the pathways or general education part and also the one in the major. So those catalog years need to be exactly the same. And also just please be aware that the changes in curriculum affect the catalog year. So sometimes a student can be in 2023, 2024 catalog year, but it doesn't mean that the requirements that they have is going to be the same exactly ones for a student who is in 2020, 2021 catalog year. So just please be aware of the catalog year changes and that the audit can look different because of the catalog year. About the academic university report, I just would like to mention that it was called before the former chancellor's report. It was the former name. And what this report does is contains all the changes that we are doing in the GridWorks. So we don't go by what is in the website. We go by what is actually reported and published on this report by the university. So in this case, every changes that you see is because this is the reflection of the academic university report. About the congratulatory email, we actually revised it and we changed it for the fall 2023 candidates. So we added the diploma part, like we were saying that the diploma is going to be ready to be emailed and sent by email by parchment after 3 to 4 months after the graduation date. Also, the students need to check that the name is the legal name. That was added on the congratulatory email, that the personal information needed to match the legal name. Also, the address has to be also updated and has to be marked as the home address. And the preferred email that they have, they need to make sure that is the actual email that they want the PDF of the diploma to be sent to. So we added this information there. Also, we mentioned about the holds, the financial exit interview. That is one hold that is preventing the students from getting the diploma. And the another one is the bursar hold. That is for because the student owes a device to us, like maybe a laptop or an iPad. When they have something like a device, they have a bursar hold that also is preventing them from receiving the diploma. So they have to clear these holds before, they will have to let us know and clear these holds before they actually are going to receive the diploma. Also, we added the links for the registrar, the admissions, alumni association, and commencement. These links were not included there, and we thought that it was a good idea to include them just to give more information to the student, because sometimes they are frustrated because they don't know what to do or what is next or what is the next, right? That what they can do if they would like, for example, to go for a second degree. So that now they know that they can go to admissions. Also, if they would like to participate in the alumni association, they can do that. And about commencement, that is actually a lot of emails that we are receiving about that. The grad audit website is not updated. We noticed that there were a few things in there that are not actually matching the information that is supposed to be with the actual system. So those changes are coming soon. And once we have them updated, we will let you know. And the another part that I would like to mention is the reverse transfer students. QCC participates on that. And we have meetings constantly with the central office about it. The reverse transfer students, the tricks I will say that they need or requirements that they will need to apply for it will be that they need a GPA above 2.0 and they need to meet the residence, so 30 credits. posted already in the degree. And these students are the ones that they don't graduate from Queensboro and they transfer to another college, but they would like to graduate from Queensboro with an associate's degree. So we help these students to get to graduation for the associate degree. So that is the name that we call, how we call them, so reverse transfer students. So if you have them or if you hear something about that, you can always refer them to me. The emails that we have is the grad audit email, we have the registrar email, and also you have my email. You can always email me directly. So there's no, I don't have any restrictions about that. So you can always talk to me. If you have any concerns, any questions, something that is bothering you or something that you would like to make it better, for the students, or you can always reach out to me and let me know. So I think that is what I have. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Hi, Ingrid. Thank you. I do have a quick question because there was one topic that came up. Do you have any information on e-permits?
About what is the specific question? I'm sorry.
I guess the process, the general process of e-permits, because we run across that a lot. And I think some advisors could use a little bit more information on that process.
So honestly, I don't do the e-permit part,
Mhm.
but I can find out about the exact process, and we can send you the documentation. So like this, you can share it.
Yeah, no, that would be great. I would appreciate that because then we can at least have some basis on that. That would be great. And then also, I think there was a question in the chat from Carla. She said, "What about the accounting course is worth only 3 credits?" I guess this is referring to degree works.
Oh, for the accounting for the BU 101 or 102?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is a transfer issue. It's the same thing that happens with the life and physical science. Instead of being 4, it's 3 credits. So the way that we can go around it actually we were working with Professor Manso about it is the student will need to take an additional course. Like for example, if the student has economics 101, they will need to take economics 102 or BU 401 or BU 701 if they don't have it included already. So that is the way around it. There's nothing that we can really do about that part because it's just the curriculum that we have is for credits for that course or for those courses. So in this case, the only way that the student can graduate not being short of credits will be taking an additional BU 701, 401, or another economics 101 or 102 if they didn't take it before.
Got you. We have another question from Edna. Are the students that are graduating for spring 2024 status updated in CUNY First?
Yes, we are working still on that list, but we have the winter candidates already in. So we are actually reviewing the students for winter right now, and most of the spring candidates are in. So we have what we call the first batch. That part is ready in this moment. But you know that sometimes the students, we know about other students like later on. So in this case, that will be part of the second batch. But as far as I know about the first batch, we have that batch ready.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions for Ingrid? No? Well, thank you very much. And please send out any slides or information, especially for the e-permit stuff. That would be much appreciated, and then I can share it with everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much too. Thank you for having me. Let me just try to see my sharing.
Ingrid, this is Edna again. Just one more question, please, before you go. If a student for spring 2024 still owes at least 6 credits and they want to take it for the summer, can they still participate in the ceremony?
Yes, they can, but just send me the information of the student. So what I do is I will move the application instead of being spring, will be for summer. And
Okay.
like this, the student will be okay here.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hold on, let me just make sure everything, okay, we got everything covered. All right, thank you so much. And we're gonna move on to the Transfer Resource Center. Hello, Renee.
Hello, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me here to be able to share information with everyone today. I am going to keep my camera off because it seems to be unstable when I have it on. For some reason, everything goes a little wonky. But today, what I would like to do is to just go through the TRC's website, just to highlight some of the important areas on the site and to share some updates with you. So as you can see, this is our Resource Center page, or TRC's page. And the very first thing that you will see on the top of the page are 3 buttons for students. And the first one indicates or will give students information about completing their transfer application. It usually changes. It's the same button every semester, but we change the information based on the year. So this is giving information for students that are graduating in the fall, the deadline dates, and information for the Justice Academy students that they're not required to complete an application, but they are required to check their emails for the link, which actually for the students that are graduating in May, the link is going to be sent this week so that they can start that transitional process. And then there's also information about the QCC, Baruch College Business Academy, what the process is for students to transition to Baruch. There's also a link here. So if you have a student that is graduating this semester or in the future, once they've graduated, you can just have them come to this page. They can update their alumni information. It comes to our office as well as the alumni office so that we know what students are doing, how they're faring with their associate's degree graduating from QCC. We are also available to meet with students in different modalities. We are opened and we're located in the library building. We're embedded within the Academy Advisement office in L434. Our room number now is actually L434B. So students can come in, they can either email us, they can call us, or they can drop into 365 Teams via the live chat support. And if they click on this link, it will give them instructions and the times that we are available during the day for live chat, and also instructions on how to access the live chat. We encourage students to connect with us first via email because our office is really small. We only have 3 people, which will soon be 2 people. And there are times when we are in a presentation for during the week, or we're in a meeting and we're not able to meet with a student at that time. So we encourage students to email first just to make sure that we have the availability to meet with them in person. Moving further down the page, you'll see that there's information on contacting us and also the transfer application priority due dates. These are priority dates, which means that a student can always apply after that deadline, but they have to understand that the longer that they wait to submit their application, the chances are for them to getting into their program of choice diminishes. So the earlier they get the application in, the better it is for them. It takes anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks for applications to be completed, processed, and to connect back with the students with their admissions decision. Also, if you have students that are in VAPA, in addition to the admissions application, they may have to also submit a supplemental application. So just make sure that students are aware of that. And not only VAPA, but also students that are in architecture or architectural technology or engineering, they may also have to submit a supplemental application. So they need to be aware of that as well. So next on the page is T-REX. Many of you have been hearing about T-REX. We've attended some of our workshops for T-REX. And so we have information listed here. There's information on that with a link to take students and advisors directly to the T-REX page. There's also another link that will take you to view the how-to videos. There's a whole library on how to use T-REX for many different options, either to see how courses transfer from CUNY to CUNY by course or by subject, how to use CUNY to CUNY by transcript, and this is for students, how to use it to see how non-CUNY courses and trainings and exams would transfer into a CUNY school, and how to use understand the CUNY major requirements. And this allows students to see what the major requirements are at the four-year institution and how their courses would apply towards that, as well as just general intro to T-REX, what it is all about, how to use it. So I'm just going to go back up here to the main tabs on top. So there is the Help Center. And if you're interested, you can also check out the leaderboards, which gives you some information about transfer across the university. So you can get to see the percentage of graduates by transfer or non-transfer student status, how long it takes for transfer admission to be completed at the four-year colleges, after transferring, what their academic performance looks like, and the college residency requirements and program comparison. So there's a lot of data that's on this page that you can check out. For students, the most important piece that they will be looking at, and I'm actually logged into CUNY, into T-REX right now, so that's why you're seeing this as a student. But for a student in the tools area or as an advisor, the two features that you most likely will use the most will be CUNY to CUNY by course or CUNY to CUNY by subject. The CUNY to CUNY by transcript, this is where a student will sign in and be able to see a personalized outlook for their particular program that they're completing at QCC, as well as selecting the program at the four-year college. There are some other options that a student can use, but we find that it's pretty much the first two. The other ones are not used as frequently, but they are helpful as well. I would recommend using Understanding CUNY Major Requirements, because this is the option that a student can pull the program requirements from QCC directly in to see how it would fit into the four-year program and not have to add courses manually. It's the Map My Credits option where you have to add the courses manually, and that can take some time, but it is an option that is also available. You also have the option where you can, a student coming in could look to see how non-CUNY courses and trainings and exams might come in to Queensborough or transfer elsewhere. So I'm just going to give you an example here. These are the non-CUNY coursework. So these are some of the colleges that are currently uploaded. And you can also see that there's some military information in here as well. There's also trainings and exams, and you can get to see AP courses and other courses that are listed as well. You might be wondering why on my screen, you're seeing a dashboard. There are, for some of the advisors, or not a lot of advisors, but a couple of you have found out that you can log in, and you've logged in. And so this would provide you with a dashboard. And on that dashboard, you would have the option to see what is now a new feature called Student Transfer Plans. What this allows a student to be able to do, and there are a couple of students that have found this feature, about 102 students, and it's not yet launched on our campus, but students have been finding it without any marketing happening. This allows for a student to indicate their transfer intentions. So if a student logs in to T-REX and hits the transfer plan button, they can actually indicate what their goals are, whether they only plan to earn a bachelor's degree or just an associate's degree, or if they plan to go on for graduate studies. They can also indicate the career that they're interested in and that they'd like to pursue, as well as the program of interest and the college that they would like to attend. That can all be indicated here for students. And when a student does that, I'm showing you the back end of T-REX as to what it would look like if you were a transfer plan reviewer. So there are two people on campus that are main transfer plan reviewers. It's myself and Lenny Sanchez, who is also in our office. And there are a couple of the advisors that have this option, this access as well, because they've logged in and we've assigned them the access, and I've been working with the advisors one-on-one to explain what this all means. But, just wanted to let you be aware that this exists and can be of some assistance should you decide to take a look at it in the future. So I'm going to go back to the TRC page. And as we scroll down, you will see that we have our Transfer Resource Center events. We have a listing, a hyperlink to the calendar of events. And we encourage you to check out the events page to share that information, that link with your students. The only thing that changes are the events. As we find out about transfer focused events, we will add them to the calendar. And so students can always get to see what's happening, whether it's a virtual event or an in-person event, whether it's within our campus, if we're offering something, or if one of our four-year partners might be offering an event that might be of interest for students, we will try to have it submitted to the calendar of events. One of the things that you may notice is that we have CUNY transfer information or transfer application workshops. We are asking all of the advisors and staff members to encourage students to register to attend one of these sessions first before coming to meet with us one-on-one. Typically, we've found that if a student attends one of our group sessions, a lot of the questions that they may have about the process is covered and answered, and they feel a lot more confident about completing the transfer process. So if you remember to just share the link with them and encourage them to connect first via the workshops, that will be a great help, but especially for them, because the students are always getting other questions answered by their peers in the workshops. And it's a lot of fun, to be in the workshop with the students. We kind of joke around a little bit, so it's not a serious topic. A lot of the students come to us kind of stressed about the process when it really isn't as stressful as they think it should be. There's also the transfer planning timeframe. So you can always send or share this with a student. There are 4 or 5. We've broken it down in terms of the timeline based on the number of credits. So you can see what a student should be doing within the first 0 to 15 credits. There are some hyperlinks in here as well for students to explore a little bit further. For the second semester, 15 to 30 credits. You could see that we're always encouraging students to meet with an academic advisor to stay on track, because it just makes the most sense. I just wanted to share with you that we had an instance where we had a student come in with about 70 credits, thinking that she was ready to graduate. And when we took a look at her records, realized she had 70 credits, but they all didn't fit into any program. And when we asked her, did she meet with an advisor? She said yes, but it wasn't one of our advisors that she met with. She met with someone on Reddit that told her what she should be taking. And so we had to kind of try to help her to get back on track so that she could graduate. And so, we have all of this listing here for students so that they can check things out. It's help them to guide themselves through the process. And then we also have a section for what happens after graduation. Once they've been accepted, what happens after graduation and what's the next steps should be. Moving on to the next section, we have Explore, and this is where students can explore all of the dual joint agreements, the dual admission programs that we have, the transfer articulation agreements. There are also, we've shared here our online presentations, and a lot of these are PowerPoint presentations that we provide during our workshops that we run, the group sessions. We have a specific workshop for students who have completed less than 30 credits, and this gives them point by point what they should be doing within those first 2 semesters or first year if they're taking their courses 15 credits or 12 credits per semester with a summer session. There's also a separate presentation for students that have earned more than 30 credits, and this guides them through that whole process of transfer and completing the application. There's also major specific or academy specific overviews. So if you have a business major, you can direct them to clicking on this link. It will show them, all of the options available for them, the transfer timeline, the dual joint programs, articulation agreements, and how to research business programs, and all of the college options that are available. There's also an area that students can explore the academic programs that are available in the CUNY system, SUNY, private in New York State and out of New York State across the United States. There's also a listing of questions that students can download to take when they go to an open house. Sometimes our students are not really comfortable, or they kind of get nervous when talking to new people. So we decided that this would be a good thing to have for students to take with them, that they'll be prepared to ask questions when they're meeting with college advisors. There's also information about the QC Baruch College Business Academy. As you scroll further down, there's a listing of scholarships. And these scholarships are primarily for students who are looking to transfer out. These scholarship opportunities will help students to be able to cover the cost of their baccalaureate degree, the last 2 years of studies. We have some prestigious scholarships available as well, the Transfer Scholars Network, which we have quite a few students that are involved in the TSN. There's also the Kaplan Leadership Program, which the deadline is actually coming up on May 3rd. There's also the Jack Kent Cook Foundation, which, that passed, but we have 4 finalists. So we're hoping that we can get all 4, if not at least 1, as a recipient for this year. And then most recently, which was announced, the Macaulay Honors College is now accepting students for the fall semester. And so they're looking for second semester students on their way to earning 30 credits with a 3.5 GPA. The deadline for that application is May 6th. And then there's other scholarships that are available here that a student can take a look at. You can also take a look at it as well, so you'll have that information to share with students. There's also a section on tools. So I know Ingrid mentioned Transfer What If. We have a link for that as well, but we encourage students to not only use Transfer What If, but also to cross-reference it with TREX to see the course equivalencies to make sure that they are in line. Also, as advisors, if you see something that looks a little wonky in Transfer What If or TREX, please let us know. Just shoot us an email so that we can take a look at it, so that if there is an error, we can work with the departments to be able to resolve the issue. There's also a transfer equivalency table for SUNY colleges. So you may have a student that is interested in transferring to a SUNY institution. There are tables available, so a student can actually take a look at that as well. And in addition to that, there is a specific Zicklin Transfer Explorer. So this only focuses on the pre-business courses and the requirements for Zicklin, the School of Business at Baruch. So students can take a look at that to see how their courses and their GPA, because they have to have a specific GPA in the pre-business courses, and it will calculate all of that for a student so they can see if they're on track to being admitted to Baruch. And then rounding out the bottom of the page, should you have a student who may be questioning whether or not they should earn their degree from QCC, there is a link with some talking points that you can share with students about why they should consider completing their associate's degree and then moving on to a four-year institution. And that's something you can share with them as well. Again, there are basic information about the transfer application for CUNY, SUNY, and private schools. There is definitely our transfer overview, which takes everything into consideration from the first day starting at QCC to graduation. So that's the full transfer overview. Should a student have questions about any of the applications once it has been submitted, this is the contact information for students. And as well as for the Justice Academy, we have information here for students to complete and to check on as well. And I noticed that we will be updating this information here for their front desk because they've just started or kicked off their admissions process for the fall. So pretty soon they'll be sending us an updated date and meeting passcode for students to be able to reach out to the dedicated Justice Academy advisor. And as you scroll down, we have additional information about the dual joint degree agreements and programs. There are 10 of them, and of the 10, there are basically about 8 programs that do not require an application because they are done within the school or within the department. For example, the nursing programs and the Justice Academy programs do not require students to complete an application, especially the Justice Academy. If a student completes an application for the Justice Academy, it confuses the process and it may delay them from being able to register for classes that are held specifically for them. So you want to make sure that students in the Justice Academy understand that they should not submit an application because it really creates an issue for them when it's time for them to register for classes at John Jay. And as we scroll further down, we're looking at the agreements. And what I would recommend and love to share with you is to be able to use this website as a tool when you are working with students. So for example, if you are working with a student that is in the Business Academy or business focused major, and you clicked on the link for Business Academy, you will see a listing of all of the agreements, the current agreements that we have listed. Within each of the hyperlinks, and I'm just going to select York College, and as we get them, we indicate the ones that are new with a little yellow sign. But you can use these agreements in a way with students so that when they're looking at a program, let's say the student is in business, in the business administration program with us at QCC, and they were interested in going to York College, you can easily share this link with them. It gives them information about the program that they're transferring into, the transfer college, the degree program that they're completing at Queensborough, Business Administration, the AS program. There's a link to take them directly to the college website page at York. There's also a link for scholarship information available. And usually we link it to the page at the college. They may have a specific scholarship page for transfer students. It also outlines how many credits are granted towards a bachelor's degree. and the total number of credits that the student would need to earn once they got to York. It also gives the application, the admissions requirement. An application is required, yes. It gives the minimum GPA, cum GPA. It also states that the associate's degree, completed degree, in order for the agreement to be taken completely at York to be accepted. And then because it's a business program, the audition and portfolio is not applicable. But here are some notes that are here. So upon transfer to York College, the student must declare a major in human resource management. And then, as you know, students must complete 2 writing intensive classes at QCC in order to fulfill degree requirements. But if you take a closer look, as you scroll down, you will see on the left side of the screen the program requirements for the business administration major at QCC. And then on the right side of the screen, you will see the equivalent course at York and how our courses will fit and what it will complete the requirements for that student at York College. And then we scroll further down, you'll see requirements for the major, you'll see the actual equivalent course on the right, right? And if there are any other additional agreement notes, for example, this particular program has specific notes about math requirements. This is something that students can take a look at and something that students should have knowledge of. So I encourage you to share any of these agreement listings, the links with your students, and you can scroll all the way through. All of the links are here. It gives students a leg to stand on when they go to the 4-year college if they're saying that they're not accepting courses. It also enables us to know if students are getting what they should earn in terms of the agreement. And also, if a student comes back to you and says that they did not receive credit for a course that is within an agreement, please let us know. It may mean that something has changed at that 4-year college. And I'll give you an example. We have an agreement with City Tech for architectural technology. And one of the things that we found out recently was that City Tech has changed some of their requirements because within their courses, as you know, technology keeps moving along. They've included new technology that architectural technology students need to be aware of. And our programs here did not, I guess, include it to the extent that they thought was viable for their students to do well once they transferred over. So that's something we were able to take a look at, and we're now in the process of the 2 departments are talking about it and trying to work on ways to be able to update our program so that it is more in line with pretty much all of the other programs, I guess, in the state, because if one school has a specific technology update, then pretty much all the other schools will have that update. But please definitely use this page as a tool when you are working with students. Again, if you see something that seems a little bit off, as advisors, I encourage you to contact our office to let us know so that we can investigate further. And just a note, we have over 80 articulation agreements posted, and there's some that are still in the works as well. So just please note to check this page out at any given time. It's a lot of information here, and I think that is basically it for our website. Just please note that we have in our office myself, and many of you may know Lenny Sanchez. She's our administrative coordinator, and many of you also know Susan Madera. She's our transfer manager, and in a couple of days or a few days, she will be retiring. So there are going to be some changes within our office, and we will update you as things, I guess, fall into place. And I think that is it for my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute or drop it in the chat or shoot us an email as well. And we're happy to answer.
There is one question from Kat from CD. If you see, can you see it in the chat?
Let me go.
It's about Macaulay.
Yes. Is it only? Yes, so they would not be graduating. So correct. So Macaulay transferred. The students will graduate from QCC. The way it's going to work is that between now and May 6th, students will submit their application. They will be then notified by the end of May if they have been accepted into the Macaulay, if they are now a Friedman Scholar. That's the name of the program. If they accept the offer, then they will start by taking in the summer 2 Macaulay Honors seminars in the summer. They will receive a stipend of about $1,200 for the summer. Then they will come back in the fall. They'll also have access to a transfer advisor as well as an academic advisor within Macaulay. They'll come back in the fall. They'll complete their courses for their degree in the fall while taking the 3rd honors seminar in the fall at the 4-year college that they would like to transfer to. And then in the spring of 2025, they will continue to take classes with us while taking the last seminar, because there are a total of 4 seminars that they have to complete. So they'll take the last one in spring of 2025, again at the college that they plan to transfer to. They will graduate in spring of 2025 and then transition over to the 4-year college. But it's all done in a way that they will earn their degree from QCC, so they're not poaching students. They're going to be integrating the students into the 4-year program while they're completing their degree. It is opened to all students, ASAP, special program students, international students. For international students, if they are admitted, they will cover the in-state tuition. And so then the student would need to pay the difference between in-state and the out-of-state tuition. So it's covered. And they're supposed to be getting Metro cards as well. And I believe a laptop, but it's for the students that have a financial need that will receive the laptop as well. Any other questions? Nope.
No, I
Oh,
think
thank you.
Yeah, great. Always useful information as always. And for anyone who missed anything or came in late, again, the call. This meeting's being recorded, and I'll be sending out the link via YouTube. Most likely for all the sessions that we had, all 3 of them, I'm going to send them in one email, make it easy for everybody by tomorrow. So if anyone missed anything, you can catch up on those videos. If that's it, if there's no other questions, then I think this pretty much concludes the meeting for the day. Thank you again for everyone for attending all the meetings. I really appreciate it. And have a great day.